Oh, oh, hi. I'm sorry, guys, but this has been such a good fic to me. I feel bad for having to end it soon. I haven't had a fic this good in ages. Chapter 20, Part 2. For the next 5 days, the 6 ponies relaxed and enjoyed the peaceful tranquility of the city that played host to them. As a group, 5 of the 6 ponies got up early in the morning to watch the sunrise together. Though it was nice to do, it still felt empty since Fluttershy wasn't there with them. Afterwards, they checked up on the Pegasus and had an hour with her, set out to explore the city once again. They discovered early on, to their relief, that the horses were quite polite and friendly to approach, so they were making soon friends left and right and center. Other times, they couldn't decide what to do. They agreed to split up and do their own thing, only promising to meet each other when the sun was about to go down. Afterwards, they would see Fluttershy once more and tell them about their days over dinner together. Applejack spent her time alone outside the city walls, looking at the farming techniques the horses use. When approached, even the horses even allowed her to try some of their techniques, which she did and mastered in no time. The farm horses were impressed, and even asked her to stay on and help. But Applejack politely declined. I was taken aback when they asked me to stay here and help them out, she said to Fluttershy and the others that evening. But I don't do what I do for the money, I told them. I do it for my family, and to help them out. They respected that a lot. Rainbow spent her time helping the horses out moving unwanted clouds, and entertaining some of the young colts and fillies of the city by showing them some of her tricks. It's just seem to look at their faces, Fluttershy, Rainbow said wearily to the other Pegasus that night after. They were lit up with utter amazement. One of them came up to me and said they would want to be like me one day. Tell you, my awesomeness has now spread outside of Equestria. And that's something I thought would never happen in a million years. Soon, there'll be colts and fillies running around here wearing hats with my face on them, saying how awesome I am. Fluttershy just rolled her eyes and giggled. Verity spent her time looking at the various dresses and facets of Horska. Although both horse and pony shared a common ancestry, they seemed to have a different sense of fashion. Some of the dresses I saw were a bit eye-straining, to put it nicely, Rarity said to a moment later. But I think I give them a helping hand, maybe equal or even a rival equestrian fashion designers. Peggy decided to go to any party that was around. The Horskins were having festivities celebrating the end of the Civil War and reunification of Horska. So after weeks, there were parties across the capital. Pinky, despite not being a horse, was openly welcomed by the horses and all of them, partying along with them until the sun began to go down. I told you the party scenes we have back home, like vintage on the pony, he said one night while they were having dinner. You taught me some of their party games as well. I'm looking forward to trying them out when we get back. For Twilight, she guided Freya on social customs in Equestria, as well as its laws, since she was the only pony in the group who even knew the most on equestrian politics. So, you have an event for every specification that comes into Canada. Even, what did you call it again? That event where you clean up winter? Freya said on the subject of social events. The two were walking down one of the hallways of the great hall towards only Freya knew where on the 5th day since Fluttershy had woken up. Would you wrap up? Freya nodded. Oh yeah, that one in particular is important, Twilight answered. Without, the entire country would be stuck in winter. But assuming you could just let nature take its time and clean it up for you, like you do here. Nature works a bit differently in our country, Freya. Due to advances in magic and the Pegasus' ability to walk on clouds, we can control the weather to suit our needs. Like, if we wanted a summer's day, the Pegasus side would go out and make sure we have a sunny day. The only part that isn't influenced by questioning magic is the ever-free forest. But I highly recommend you don't even take a step there. Freya nodded in understanding, stopped outside the door with a golden horse on his face. Twilight looked at it oddly. So, what is it you wanted to show me? Realizing you wouldn't be able to read most of the books here, Freya explained. I took the liberty of trying to find some books in the question for you. She opened the door and they stopped outside. Twilight gasped in wonder, eyes lighting up in pure delight. She stepped inside, beginning to spin around, eyes never leaving the book. Around him, a numerous amount of shelves stacked with books stood in rows all around the large room. So large Twilight couldn't just tell how big. She looked back at Freya and opened her mouth to say thanks, but Freya pointed and spoke first. It took me a while, but I managed to find some of the books requesting for you to read, and have, if you like them. Twilight's eyes widened even further. You're giving me a part of your library for free? Freya nodded. And I thank you for helping to save my country and the world. As she said that, an idea sprang into Freya's mind. Actually, I just thought of a way. Oh, don't worry about it, Freya, Twilight said, waving at her dismissively. It was Fluttershy who saved the world, not me or any of us, just her. Freya smiled. Yes, but without you, like Fluttershy says, she wouldn't have even made it. You deserve as much credit as she does. She turned around and moved towards the door. I'll let you get on with the books. Please take any you like when you go home. They're just right there, so there'll be an extra cat in your house. She left without further word, closing the doors gently behind her. Once Freya had gone, Twilight raced over to a pile of books that were left on a giant table. She began flicking through them, hoping to find a book on what she was looking for. She had been thinking about something concerning Fluttershy and the Dragonlords for a while. I wondered that if Fluttershy's ancestry is to believe, the legend she once read was actually true. After a few minutes, her face formed a massive grin at the book that she now had on her face. Myths and Legends before the Age of Equestria. Twilight read the title aloud, without pausing for thought. She set the book down and began to flick through the pages, scanning quickly the legends that would be what she was looking for, and completely skipping the ones that weren't. She suddenly froze. The grin on her face grew wider when she found what she was looking for. It's true! The legends about him are true! She picked up the book and galloped out of the room, down the hall, up the stairway, through the corridor, and skated to a hall outside the room Fluttershy was signing in. Fluttershy, are you decent? She called, knocking on the door. Twilight, I don't know really very close. Macy's called back. Taking that as her cue to come in, Twilight opened the door to find Fluttershy lying on her right side, facing away from the door with a small smile on her face. How are you today, Twilight? Fluttershy asked, once Twilight came into view. Twilight walked in and made herself comfortable just inches away from where Fluttershy's head lay. I'm good, thanks. Yourself? A bit better than I did when I woke up. The pain in my back isn't as bad as it was, and I could walk to the bedroom door and back a few times before having to lie down again. Twilight's smile faded a little upon knowing her friend was still in a bit of pain. She got a small, sad sigh and lowered her head a little. I wish I could help you with that. I hate seeing my friends in pain. First I stressed out a little and raised her friend's head a little. It's okay, she said softly. Just I can walk outside to that balcony at the top of the building. Then I think I'll be okay getting home. Don't think that far ahead. Just take your time. Like we said before, we're in no rush now. First I smiled in reply, and changed the subject when her eyes moved to the large book on her back. What's that you got there? Oh, this? She looked back at the book, and picked it up with her magic and placed it in front of her. The thing is, I've been thinking about what you were telling me about Dragonlord's ability to fight as a warrior from birth. That I remember a while back about an old legend I remember hearing. She flipped through the pages quickly until she found the pages she was looking for. Have a look at this, Twilight said, flipping it over for Fluttershy to see. Fluttershy's eyes moved across and down the page, near her at first, and then widening in surprise as she read even further. The Legend of Fire the Great. Fluttershy read the title aloud. Is this really the same dragon as the one that sacrificed himself to create the Dragonlords? Twilight nodded. I can't see this as any other dragon. He was reputed to be the greatest sword dragon of the age. He mastered every form of sword combat known to the world, put it all together in his own style with his sword, Ragnarok. After nearly 100 years of fighting so many enemies, he has disappeared from records and existence altogether. First I looked for Twilight to the page opposite the writing and had an artist depiction of what the first fighter may have looked like. A bright white dragon with golden spikes that ran down his back, with vicious red eyes that spoke of wisdom and cruelty. What was different to him compared to the other dragons, however, was a large sword that was held by a belt on his right left side, with a crossguard that looked like the symbol of the Dragonlords, a pommel that was shaped like a dragon head, and a blade that had jagged edges like shark teeth in it. What happened to the sword? Twilight shook her head. No pony really knows. One theory suggests that it was broken into pieces after what happened to Vidar. Those pieces were used to create other weapons. Fluttershy bit her bottom lip as she thought. Twilight, she said at last, could you get me Drake's beam, please? Wait, White Dragon. Are we sure that color wasn't platinum? Twilight nodded, and went over to the wardrobe and fished it out. The bracelet had a few scratches across its face after the fight with Heimdall, but otherwise it was fine. Fluttershy looked to the right eye cup, and allowed Twilight to strap it on with her magic. Once on, Fluttershy willed the sword to come out. Once it did with a song of metal, it gave it a long hard stare. Is it possible Drake's beam can be made out of one of those pieces? Twilight's eyes widened as suggested. Then if that's the case, what are the other pieces? The two ponies fell silent as they both wondered what the fate of the other pieces could have made. Perhaps there were other blades like Fluttershy's out there. And if so, there was a chance they could belong to dormant Dragonlords. Heimdall said he was only able to track Fluttershy down because of his prophetic vision, and his amazing sense of knowing when a Dragonlord is awake. So there could be other Dragonlords, whose DNA had been long dormant, were out there. There could be other Dragonlords! Both ponies said at once. They looked at each other for a moment, came into a hug. Do you think it's possible, though, Fluttershy? Twilight asked, pulling away. Could there be dormant Dragonlords out there? Twilight, I have a hard time these days thinking of what's impossible, what's not, Fluttershy replied. There might be other ones out there, but I don't want to go finding them. In case I think I found one, it turns out he or she isn't one after all. The best we could do is be patient and hope another one appears. She looked at the book again and smiled. Thanks for bringing this to me, Twilight. It's nice to know I was able to fight so well. You're welcome. Right. Better get back to the other books. So much to read. Still a little time. Talk to you later. After that, Twilight turned around and left the room, closing the door behind her. Fluttershy watched her go with a small smile. Glad to know she left the book behind. Twilight, she called. She maybe showing no response. It didn't take long for Fluttershy to realize she had left the book behind intentionally. Oh, Twilight, you couldn't box, she said, giggling away. She picked up the book again and began reading from the beginning. Just beside me, she said to herself. The days should go by a lot quicker. 5 days had passed since Twilight had come to see her, and in a warm yet breezy day that seemed like the first day of autumn, Fluttershy found herself sitting on the balcony at the top of the great hall, looking down the city and the country around it. It felt good to be outside after being stuck indoors for more than a week, with only the smell of her own sweat hanging in the air. But thankfully, after a long recovery process, she was able to walk from her balcony to the bedroom, to the balcony and back again, all without the support of her friends. She had a blissful sigh and smiled. Although she had been up here a few times before, she was occupied with other thoughts, or was with Freya, or to really take in the beautiful scenery that surrounded the city. The vast plains stretched to the horizons, mountains and forests she could make out in the distance, including the ragged mountains where she met her father, and long clear rivers that broke the plains apart like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. But even with all their natural beauty, none of it compared to the beauty of her homeland. She sighed as she realized just how much she missed Equestria. Its people, its amazing wonders, smells, wildlife, and most of all, she missed the peaceful tranquility she got out of it. That moment, she decided her time in Horsko was over. Tomorrow, she and her friends would set off for home. She stayed up there until the sun was starting to go down. Fluttershy! A voice called from the bottom of the stairs. Fluttershy spun her head around and moved slowly towards the top of the stairs to see who was calling her. Fluttershy! The voice called again, this time clearer and more easily recognizable. Rainbow Dash, up here! She called. A moment later, the head of Rainbow Dash appeared. There you are! Rainbow said as she walked up the stairs. Been looking for you everywhere! Anyway, Freya sent me to look for you. She says he wants us all in the main hall or something. Fluttershy's smile fell. She gave Rainbow a look of curiosity. Any ideas what it could be? No, not yet, but there's only one way to find out. Come on! She said, leading Fluttershy down the stairs. Rainbow stretched a hoof out to help her down, but Fluttershy didn't take it. She was able to get down on her own, after all. Soon the two arrived at the main hall. Both ponies gasped in wonder. The hall ceiling was decorated in banners and sizzles of equestrian horseguard. A large number of horses crowded the hall, and the sides facing the crown emotionally were the personal bodyguards of Freya, the horse calls. All of them wore metal armor on their backs and chests. Each had a ceremonial crown on their heads and sword at their sides. "Over here!" Twilight whispered. Frabel and Fluttershy found Twilight and the rest of their friends at the front of the crowd, and hurried to join them. "Hey, girls," Fluttershy said quietly as she stood alongside them. "Any ideas what this is about?" "No idea," Twilight replied with a shrug. "But we're here to find out." She gestured to her left and headed to the door, when Freya emerged. Freya wore a long dress that covered her chest, back, and rump. It was a royal purple with golden swirls that formed a pattern along the edges of the dress, and on the face was the emblem of Horska, a rearing golden horse. "That is a beautiful dress," Rarity muttered to Fluttershy. "Could do with a jewel or two, but otherwise dazzling." Freya looked from the horses that inhabited the hall, went to the 6 points at the front of the group and smiled down. "My friends, today we are here to honor the bravery, daring, and the friendship of the 6 equestrians that, through their actions, saved this world and brought a new era of peace for us all." She looked down to the group with 6 points before her. "The Applejack Rose Carré, Rarity Turquoise, Rainbow Dash, Pygmalion Diane Pie, Twilight Sparkle. Could you step forward, please?" Confused, the 5 points stepped away from the crowd so inches for the Queen of Horska. Freya looked quickly at Fluttershy, and Cece looked glad about probably not being called up as well. She looked back at the 5 points and began to speak. "You all stood when others would have run. You went forward rather than back. You fought when others would have thrown their weapons. But most of all, you loved when others would have forgotten the meaning of the word. Your courage, love, and friendship towards each other gives you a light to cling to in this otherwise dark world. And for that, you should be rewarded for your actions." She looked at a horse with a large chest on her back, and gestured to her head to come forward. The man moved so she was alongside Freya, and allowed the queen to take something out of the chest. On her mouth was a crown of silver, a dark green laurel wrapped around it. "With these crowns, I hereby decorate you all as Huskarls of Equestria, and award you with the laurels of peace." She set the first one down on Twilight's head, then went back to the chest and got another one out, placed it on Rainbow's head. She's repeated until all 5 points had a silver crown on their heads. "Yes! Nice, family!" These are the second highest rewards a horse can receive, and only a few great enough to have them. When you go home, you wear these with pride, but they are only ponies in Horska's long history to receive such a gift. Freya bowed her head at them, then the 5 ponies bowed their heads in return. "Rise, Horsecarls of Equestria!" Freya finished with a clear, commanding voice. The 5 ponies raised their heads again and turned around, and were met with cheers and applause for the horses present. But out of all of them, none were as loud as Fluttershy. Clapped her hands harder and cheered as loud as they did when Rainbow Dash performed the Silent Rainbow for the second time. The 5 ponies bowed their heads once more at the crowd, then went back to their places and stood beside Fluttershy, grinning like he had just been given the best birthday present ever. "And funny, Fluttershy Firewing, come forward." Fluttershy's heart froze, and after a few encouragements from her friends, hesitantly stepped forward. She looked behind her to see all those horses looking at her, and quickly looked back in front of her, trying not to think about those horses. "Some things never change," she thought to herself. She stopped when she stood in front of Freya, and looked up to see the old Queen of Horska looking at her with a loving smile. "Fluttershy Firewing, your love for your friends is unparalleled to anything I've ever seen. You fought for them when they were in danger, and bested any odds set against you to keep them safe. Even when you were at death's door, you fought on, knowing if you die, then you would surely follow. Your kindness knows no limits, and your bravery is second to none. These are traits only a few horses can share, and only a few that are worthy of what I'm about to give you." She put her head back onto the chest behind her, a golden crown a moment later. It was bright gold, with a bright red jewel on the front seat like a star. Freya placed the crown on Fluttershy's head. "With this crown, and a kiss from the Queen of Huska. She leaned over and kissed Fireside's head, making the Pegasus go red with embarrassment. I now pronounce you as a Thane of Huska, the highest status a horse or pony could give a queen. Rise to be recognized, Thane of Huska. Fireside bent her head and turned around and was met with louder cheers and applause from all the horses in the hall, especially her pony friends who cheered the loudest. Fireside gave a meek wave and was grinning with joy. Elise licked it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all. Freya stopped applauding when Fireside went back to stand alongside her friends. Then reared up and shouted, Now let's see those ponies! How we potty! Huskin style! Yay! Fireside had to fight in her ears to deafen the roar of approval dished with other horses. She looked to her left to see Pinky staring at Freya with a mouth agape and eyes wide. See that style potty before me! She yelled through the noise. She shook her head and a small smile on her face. He's good. And before Fireside knew it, Pinky was gone. That's when the crowd began dancing to the music being played by a couple of horses in the corner. Pinky, I said this before and I'll say it again. Never stop being your wonderful, wonderful, caring, heartwarming self. And the music began playing by a couple of horses in the corner. The rest of her friends were soon dispersed to enjoy the party, while Fireside stayed where she was for a moment. Time for me to go, I think, she said to herself quietly. Despite being a Dragonlord who had fought, killed, and nearly died, she still couldn't be comfortable in large crowds, and thought she never would. Having one last look around in case she got pulled away suddenly, she trotted on a light limp up the stairs and back towards the balcony, not noticing Twilight watching her go, quickly turning back to face Applejack. As Fluttershy watched, she looked up and eyed the crown that now presented her tiles Thane of Horska. Wondered if she actually deserved it. Was killing so glorious in his country the earned it with so many awards? In almost 2 weeks since he defeated Heimdall, still wished there could have been a better way than what had happened. She made it up the balcony in no time and soon sat down, her head resting on a rolling railing. She looked down at the city, lighted up with lights, and the night sky began to appear. Despite the beauty of all, she didn't feel like smiling. She felt undeserving of the title given to her. Is killing something to cheer about? She thought gloomily, sighing heavily. Why so glum? Fluttershy. Fluttershy looked up to see Vidar lowering himself to the courtyard and finding something to grin about. Vidar, it's so good to see you, she cheered gratefully. And you, Vidar replied with a smile. So nice to see you up and about after a long time. How are you feeling anyway? Still hurts a bit, and I can't walk properly, but I'm sure it'll pass. That definitely will, Vidar said. As a thank you, Vidar, Fluttershy went on. You saved my life and brought me back when I died. I thank you for saving my friends. You're most welcome, Fluttershy, by the way. Dragonlord, and now Thane of Horska. I thought there would be something to be happy about. But you for some reason are not. So why? Fluttershy's ears fell flat on her head once more. Placed her head on the banister. I was just thinking about my victory over Heimdall. I was wondering, there could have been a better way, rather than killing him. Vidar lowered his head so he's facing Fluttershy directly. I would like to know what happened now. What happened when you faced him? Fluttershy went on how she met Heimdall for the first time, how he deceived her and her friends, how they all fought, and how she watched her friends fall one by one, how she met him in a one-on-one duel and triumphed against him. She paused for a moment and went on about how Heimdall asked her to place the key and fled the prison chamber and drown him. After this, Vidar sighed. You should have left him, Fluttershy, by the way. If I weren't around, things would have turned out very different. He wanted you to feel sympathy for him, so he could flood the chamber and not just kill him, but yourself and your friends. Even on the verge of death, he still wanted to bring about death and destruction. I'm not so sure, Vidar, Fluttershy countered. He had me in his claws when the walls broke. The water rushed in. But instead of crushing me, he threw me into the direction of the entrance and told me to run. Vidar looked lost. The mind of a dragon is a fickle thing, Fluttershy, by the way.
It's always hard to truly understand what a dragon is about to do. What they do in the end, and what Heimdall did is an example of that.
Do you think he did so he can redeem himself in his eyes? Now the sun's when he sees him.
We'll never know that. And how it happened down there is unimportant compared to what happened in the end. You managed to succeed is something that an entire Dragonlord order couldn't do.
Fireside gave Fighter a long, cold stare. Couldn't or wouldn't? Fighter jerked his head back by the hostile tone in Fireside's voice.
Why decide hostility for the sci-fi?
Fireside's ears fell flat as he sighed. I'm sorry, Vidar. I'm not angry at you. I'm angry at the Order. Were they as arrogant as Heimdall claimed? Vidar's ears fell and he gave her sad eyes.
I wish I could say you're lying about that, but then I would be lying. The Dragonlords were highly arrogant, and sadly that's not an exaggeration. They were almost blinded by the superiority of battle and genetic enhancements. It's a trait that cursed the Dragonlords for existence, something that my grandfather had to do something about. He's well renowned for his arrogance, and carried through it on how he fought the battle.
Fireside gulped. Can I become arrogant as he was? Fire smiled at her reassuringly.
It depends on Dragonlord to Dragon. You're only opponents after all. But I think you could say you won't become as arrogant as you were anytime soon.
Fireside smiled gratefully, glad to be assured that, although her ears remained flat on her head, all the same, it still feels like a hollow victory, though. So many ponies and horses died for nothing. Now I'm the last of the Order. A silence fell between them, as if they were remembering those they had lost.
What will you do now?
Fire asked suddenly. Fireside thought for a moment. In my room, there's 2 bracelets and a small pair of blades that fit over my wings. When I get home, I'm going to find a sack, put them in it, and store it away so no pony can find them. Never use them again. Fire frowned at her, looked to the stars.
I wish I could share your optimism, Fluttershy Firewing, but I can't. There will be a point where you have to take up arms once again to defend your friends and loved ones. I don't know when, and I don't know why, but you will take up arms once more.
Fireside looked up at the dragon, looking confusion and fear. What do you mean?
I'm not entirely sure, Fluttershy Firewing, but I feel something dark and terrible is coming. A hammer so large and powerful it will split Equestria into chaos, and violence it hasn't seen in thousands of years. When that time comes, your friends will need you more than ever. Always be vigilant, Dragonlord. Always be ready.
Fireside felt a great fear suddenly pass through her. This was bad, but a second time? Daisy remembered her vow to Vidar the first, the vow to defend her friends. Realized at some point they would be in trouble, and she would have to stand up for them. She looked back into his eyes and grinned. It's to defend my friends. Her eyes narrowed in determination. Bring it on. Vidar's laugh echoed across the country.
Strong words, Dragonlord. He smirked. You are definitely your daughter's father. You have his strength in you, as well as your mother's fragility. I certainly would love to call you daughter.
And I am proud to call them my mother and father. As I said, raising her head towards the sky. Vidar chuckled and spread his wings, ready to take off. Wait, you leaving?
I'm afraid so, young Dragonlord,
Vidar replied.
And this will be our last meeting for a while.
Will I see you again?
Of course, but hopefully for not a long time. Farewell, Fluttershy Gypsies. I'm not taking defender to high for who's it. Listen. Farewell for now, Fluttershy Firewing. May the peace you have earned be long and prosperous.
With the final bow of his head, Vidar thrust his wings down and disappeared into the night sky. Clouds roar echoing across the plateau as a final goodbye. Farewell, Vidar. I'm not taking defender now. Farewell for now, Vidar. May peace be with you too. She called out to one of Draconican. She stepped back in tears, seeing not just a dragon, but also a good friend, Lee. She knew she would see him again. Just hopefully, like he said, not for a long time. She knew what he meant by that. Her heart beat a bit faster because of it. but she knew she shouldn't worry about the future. She worked for Twilight. She would carry on and worry about it when the time came.